Hi, everyone. 8:38 on this Wednesday night here at CBS 19. Tyler, Texas, bringing you an update on our weekend forecast. We have a weather impact alert for Saturday. Thanks for watching us here on our CBS 19 Plus stream. Also over on the Facebook page and on the YouTube channel. If you want to like, subscribe, share, go ahead. Feel free. We're trying to get you up to date on what will happen this weekend. It's not, let's say, a widespread severe weather threat or a severe weather threat like it was last weekend. More of a heavy thunderstorm threat with some gusty winds and also heavy rain. Heavy rain is going to be the biggest threat this Saturday. Just had a question on Facebook. Will this be a washout? I don't know that the entire day is a washout, but it will be damp and muddy after it rains. And the heaviest rain likely comes in Saturday morning. There might be a little bit of a break, and then more rain comes back in Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and eventually another round as the whole storm system moves away Sunday morning. So several rounds of rain, maybe a couple of dry hours in between or a few dry hours in between. But right now it looks like certainly a really good chance of rain Saturday, a 90% chance that it rains on Saturday. So most of the morning looks like it could be wet. There is one heavy band that comes through, perhaps in the early morning hours of Saturday up until about sunrise. If that's the timing, then we're going to catch a break for a few hours Saturday morning before the next round moves back in Saturday afternoon. If those showers and thunderstorms hold off till, say, sunrise Saturday, then we might be in for a long haul of rain through noon into the afternoon and then another round Saturday night. Flash flooding is possible no matter what the timeline on that is. I lost track of I lost track of what I was trying to say when I started thinking about the time. But flash flooding is possible. I don't know if you knew this, but you can get the latest radar update using our CBS 19 app. If you download the app, there is a radar function on there when you click on weather. So that's a good tool to use, especially on a day like Saturday when you're trying to anticipate when you might have the next round of rain moving in or one band of rain moving out. Weather impact alert Saturday, 90% chance of rain, and there's a lot of it. 40% chance of rain Sunday, 30% chance of rain Monday. Monday into Tuesday, we have a significant cold front coming in, and I say significant cold front because it's going to drop the high temperatures middle part of next week toward Halloween, potentially in the upper 60s, low 70s, and morning lows in the 40s. I'll show you that in the 10-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. All right, excessive rainfall outlook is there for Saturday. This area in purple, which covers most of deep East Texas, western Louisiana, that is a slight risk or a chance to see scattered flash floods. The area in blue surrounding that, as far west of Dallas, as far east of Jackson, Mississippi, as far north as Fort Smith, Arkansas, you've got a chance for isolated flash flooding. We zoom in here and you can see this sort of cuts East Texas right in half. Tyler, Gilmer, Emory, Canton, Mount Pleasant in that marginal risk. You've got Shreveport, Center, Nacogdoches, Lufkin, Crockett, and Jacksonville in the slight risk for flash flooding. All right, right now outside, it's all calm. Sky is clear, 65 cool degrees with an east-southeast wind at 7 miles an hour. That's a key here. It's going to start to increase the moisture across the area. Humidity coming up tomorrow and more so on Friday. That's because the high pressure system's located now right over Alabama. And so that's sending us this more of an east-southeast wind. The storm system that we're tracking out here in the west doesn't look all that impressive right now. It will become stronger as it moves into the central plains, gets out ahead of the Rockies, spins up an area of low pressure, and then that will track across the central southern plains and into the Mississippi River Valley. So weekend rain and thunderstorms are likely with that storm system. All right, this is what it'll look like. I started this evening, and you can see just those scattered showers. Now watch as you go through time. You get into Thursday, especially Thursday night, Friday, the storm system really takes on good shape, and it moves through here. And by Sunday at 1 a.m., we're still dealing with some rain showers around the area. Storm energy, not so much the next couple of days. Here's what I wanted to show you. Friday afternoon, if you could get a thunderstorm to pop here, you'd have maybe some gusty winds. The trouble is most of the rain is going to be out northwest of Dallas. So there's moderate storm energy to support a couple of thunderstorms, but they're going to be west toward Dallas and out toward Waco, North Texas toward Wichita Falls. When we get into the rain here Saturday morning, there's very little storm energy at all. Saturday afternoon, it's weak, so maybe we have a couple of rumbles of thunder. So severe weather to me looks like it's going to be on the lower side. There is a little bit of support for some upper level winds to come through overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning at about 6 a.m. Anywhere you see these little pockets of green, those are going to be low level winds that could get close to 65 miles an hour. That would be at about 5,000 feet. If you bring that energy down to the surface, you might get a wind gust. Due to friction, you lose a lot of that speed. But frictional forces of the earth, downward transfer, momentum of those winds, and suddenly you're talking about some wind gusts in the order of maybe 45, maybe 50 miles an hour in some isolated spots. I think more likely in those areas in yellow. So could we have a severe thunderstorm warning Saturday morning? Yes. Will it be widespread? No. Tornado threat, very low. You can never say zero, but it's very, very low. By Saturday afternoon, the best low-level winds are moving away, despite the fact that we had better energy beginning to build back up. So that would just suggest that you've got just a couple of rumbles of thunder here and there. All right, so I'll start severe potential here this evening. No severe potential through Thursday, Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Friday night, no. Saturday, a little bit, it's low. The overall severe potential with this outlook is pretty low. Again, 1, 2, maybe 3 severe thunderstorm warnings out of the whole event. Overnight Saturday morning, starting at like 3 a.m., going into late Saturday night. Just very, very, very low threat here. It's more about flash flooding. So let's walk you through this. And about at 9:15, around 9:30, I'll get new data in. We'll have this update on CBS19 News at 10 o'clock tonight. Let me see how many times I stopped this. I started this Thursday at 7 p.m. Friday, dry, and I forgot to put any pause points in, so I'm going to go manually run those pause points back just because I want to walk you through what's happening here. All right, so I'm going to back it up for us. I think I'm going to back it up for us. I might have to stop this to back it up, but that's okay. I can do that easily. So that went way too fast for us. Let's stop. Let's walk us through this. So we're going to go back to 7 o'clock Thursday. It's nothing. There's some high school football games that were moved up to Thursday. Friday, 10 a.m., 72, 77, 70, about, 80, low 80s Friday with increasing clouds. Key time here is going to be 7 o'clock Friday, dry. 7:30, 8:30, still dry in East Texas. I think high school football games that stayed originally scheduled on Friday are fine. You get to 9:30 up toward Emory and Sulphur Springs, there could be some thunderstorms. Now we walk our way into the overnight hours here toward Mineola and Canton. And you can see the leading edge of those winds here toward Palestine. Anywhere you've got some of those sharply defined edges on those thunderstorms, there's a chance to have some wind gusts. Moves into Tyler about 4 a.m., Henderson 5 a.m., to the Louisiana border by about 6 a.m. Heaviest round moves out. There's another little band that comes back in at 8. This is why I said it wasn't a washout of a day. There's a few showers that come back in and then try to reform by the afternoon. So while it rains and it's going to pour, it doesn't look like it just rains the entire day. But look at the amounts of rainfall we could pick out. Pick out where you live, for instance, Henderson, and then you come over here. That's dark red. That's going to correspond with, I believe, this 2.5 bullseye for rainfall, maybe closer to 3. It's probably more like 3, so it's going to correspond with this. That purple or magenta area for Athens, Canton, Gilmer, Longview, more in line with that 2.5. That purple area up here, 1 3/4 to 2. Come down to Hemp Hill, San Augustine, Center, this bright kind of orangish color, more like 4 inches of rain. So 2 to 4 inches of rain across the area. The confidence in this, the collection of models put together called the ensembles, are pointing at probabilities of 100% that you have an inch of rainfall, almost 100% that you have at least 2 inches of rainfall, and about better than 50%, almost 75% that you're getting 3+ inches of rainfall. So there's high confidence in the forecast for heavy rainfall, and that's why the weather impact alert all day Saturday. Heavy rain is our biggest impact. The need, of course, is to make sure that you know where to shelter. Should we have thunder, lightning, you're outside and you have a place to shelter, but staying inside all day is probably one of the better things you can do. If you have to venture out, you've got rain gear with you and you're staying dry that way. Hopefully we can get rid of some of these burn bans. after a rain like that, after 4 inches of rainfall. But I think we're going to need repeated rain before you can get the county commissioners to drop some of these burn bans. Latest one added today was Van Zant County. Henderson County went yesterday. Anderson County extended their burn ban recently. Rusk County under the burn ban. Panola County, and then everywhere point south. It's really almost a I-20 point south kind of burn ban. Smith County right now not included in that, but Upshur and Marion County are including the city of Jefferson. So again, maybe this rain can get rid of some of those burn bans. Then we have another cold front that's coming in the middle part of next week. So when the jet stream's running like this, you can push cold fronts through the area. And if it taps into any cool air, it's coming in off the Pacific, not quite, I'm not going to call it Arctic air, but it does tap into some very cool air in southern Canada and then pulls it down with a cold front into the deep south. East Texas is in the trajectory of that cooler wind. And so the high temperatures next Wednesday, Thursday, and Halloween look much cooler. In fact, we may end up with a high temperature around 70 on Halloween. Then you're trick-or-treating between 6 and 8. Spooky clouds, 65 degrees. And you can howl at the moon at 10 p.m. with a temperature down to 60 degrees, but it will be dry. All right, before we go and check out our 10-day forecast, Tropical Storm Melissa, latest advisory, 7 o'clock, so a couple hours ago, still at 50 miles an hour, moving west at 1 mile an hour. So there's Melissa. Tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, it's barely moved. And then it begins to move northward, and as it does, there's some very warm air or warm water out here, and so it begins to pick up strength. Becomes a Category 1 storm, I believe, by Saturday, and eventually reaches Category 4 strength. This is the cone of uncertainty. So there is a lot of uncertainty as to where Melissa is going. Is it going to move northward closer to the Yucatan Peninsula, southern parts of the Caribbean? We know we have vested interests in Cozumel, Costa Maya, Belize, with cruise ships coming out of Galveston and many people in East Texas catching those cruises on down there. So this will be something not to watch this weekend. If you're on a cruise this weekend, you're fine. It would be next week, once we figure out where this is going, that if you were headed down into that part of the Caribbean, you might think about or possibly plan that your cruise itinerary, depending on where the storm goes, could be altered. Don't know yet, but certainly if this storm were to leak into the western part of the Caribbean, even if the storm was closer to, say, Central America, you're still going to get rough waves, a lot of wind being thrown back toward the Yucatan Peninsula. So that's a player. Maybe in about, we know through Saturday it's still spinning here, and there are tropical storm watches up around Jamaica. So, in fact, if you were coming out of Miami on a cruise that went down to Jamaica, you'd be impacted this weekend. But coming out of Galveston, it would take many days before it impacted the Yucatan Peninsula. Probably a cruise that would leave sometime next week and would get down there maybe middle part of next week, so in about 7 days from now. But we'll wait and see. The water's very warm all the way down over toward the Yucatan. I mean, we're talking about 80-degree water, and it goes down to a deep depth here. So storms don't necessarily follow where the warm water is. It's more of the steering currents aloft that will push the storm. But this would tell us if it does move over those areas, with the warm water being brought up from the deeper parts of the ocean, it would sustain the storm as it tries to move westward. All right, here's your Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine Joint Hospital 10-day forecast. 85, partly cloudy tomorrow, 81 Friday. Rain, thunder likely Saturday, 71 with a 90% chance of rain. 74 with morning showers Sunday, morning showers again Monday. Here comes that cold front Tuesday. Remember, I showed you this trajectory of the winds, so that's pulling the next cold front through Tuesday, and the temperatures tumble. 71 Wednesday, upper 60s Thursday. Halloween, wake up temperatures in the 40s, daytime highs upper 60s, and a chance for more morning showers as we start November. November 1st now on that 10-day forecast. That'll be a week from Saturday. Thanks for watching the YouTube channel and, of course, our CBS 19 Plus stream and on our Facebook page. If you have any questions on the Facebook page, please put those below, and I will try to answer those best I can. Of course, we will see you with a live update on CBS 19 News at 10 p.m. Have a great night, everyone.